Yo, what's up, Watto? How you doing? Hey, do you understand the problem? Yeah. Do you understand it? Nope, I recently started Java a week ago. Oh, my bad. I hit the mute button. I took a boot camp a while ago, but I graduated from it, so nah, I'm not really a student anymore. I don't know why it's giving me an issue. Missing comparison in the last condition. Is an int not a boolean? It needs a comparison. Oh, I forgot that part. See, it's little stupid mistakes like that screw me up. How is this true? I don't understand that test case there that I got wrong. This one. I thought one of them had to be 1 digit away and then the other one had to be 2 digits away from both of them. I thought. By differing from A by at most 1. If is less than or equal to there we go. So let me know if you guys want me to explain this to you. I guess I might as well, since you're new here and everything. So the problem is given 3 ints A, B, C, return true if one of B or C is close, differing by at most 1. So for example, in this one, we're comparing them to A. So A is the first digit in all of these test cases. If you look here, the first digit is A. So the second 2 digits are B and C. If one of them is either the difference between B and A or C and A, if the difference is 1 or 0, then we can continue on to the next part. So that's what I'm testing here. Math.abs, that just means that like when you subtract it, if it goes negative, it just gives you the positive version of that number. So that way it just gives you like what the difference is. So in this case we do A minus B. So if we're doing this test case here, A minus B, that's 1 minus 2. So that gives us a -2, but because it's in math.abs, it becomes a +1. And then here we're checking to see if whatever we get here is either less than or equal to 1, and it would be in that case. We're also checking to see if maybe it's not B that's different by 1, maybe it's C that's different by 1. So we're going to check to see that over here, and it's going to be the same thing what I just explained, except we're checking for C. And then if either of those conditions are true, if B or C is different by at most 1 digit from A, then we're going to go down here and we're going to check to see if A minus B, if the absolute number of that is greater than 1, and the absolute number when you do C minus B is greater than 1. So that's basically checking to see if the difference between B and A and B and C is greater than 1. So whichever one is different from A by 1 or less, the other digit has to be different from both of those, both of the other numbers by more than 1. So that's what we're checking here. And then If that's not the case for B, then we're going to go over here. This is OR. And then we're going to check to see if maybe C is different from A and it's different from B by more than 1. And if all of those conditions are true, then we're going to go down here and we're going to return true. But if even one of these conditions is wrong, well, it depends, like, because in this case we're doing OR, in this case we're doing OR. So if this line, the whole line here, is not true, then we're going to just go down here and we're going to return false. If one of these, if this line is not true, then we're going to go down here and return false. So that was the best way I could explain that. Hopefully you guys kind of followed along if you have some of the Java fundamentals down. What are the best platforms to learn Java and best platforms to practice? I mean, in terms of fundamentals, I recommend this website, CodingBat, but it's not going to teach it to you. Like, you can kind of learn it if you go through all the problems. Like, you're probably going to need like AI to help you, but you should try to do like, so for example, you can start in the warm-up section, do this first one. If you don't understand it, you can just copy and paste this into AI. It will explain it to you. And then if you have any questions, you can ask AI further and then just try to solve it without looking at AI, and then go on to the next question and try to do that with what you just learned from the previous question. So each question that you do on this kind of builds off of the previous question. So if you used AI to like solve one of the problems, as long as you understand like how the AI solved the problem, then maybe in the next problem you can kind of try to do it yourself. But yeah, this is a good website for practicing problems for Java. It also has a Python section. But if you actually want to learn Java or learn a different language, I would recommend this website. I haven't really gone through it yet, but I know it's pretty good. It's called w3schools.com. And look, it has all these different languages up here. So I do plan on going through this just to kind of get a refresher of all the syntax, because I know like most of the fundamentals of Java, but there are certain things that you can do with Java that I don't use a lot. So going through this will kind of give me like a bigger picture of all the syntax that I can use for Java. Another resource I would recommend would be if you like YouTube videos, check out this guy named BroCode on YouTube. And he does like a bunch of different coding languages, but he does do Java. So I would recommend starting with that maybe. And once you kind of get an idea of how he's explaining everything, then I would try to like jump into a website like W3 Schools so you can actually like code it out instead of just watching a video, because watching coding videos is never gonna like actually get it in your head like ingrained so you can really code. It's just gonna kind of give you a baseline understanding of what you're doing before you actually start coding. So I have like this folder here. This is all the resources I'm trying to focus on right now. I created a playlist on YouTube called Java Fundamentals or Java Foundations, which includes a lot of those BroCode videos that I was just talking about. I already watched most of them. So now I'm just doing the CodingBat problems. After that, I already know how to do strings, and I already know how to do arrays and string, or I know how to do arrays, and I know how to do arrays and strings. But I'm still just gonna go through this LeetCode section here, just to like see if there's any like bits and pieces that I can get from those web pages that might help me out a little bit. Like, you never know like what little nuggets you can get from different resources. And then there's also this website, but I wouldn't recommend HackerRank until you like kind of know what you're doing a little bit more. So that's why I have this one further down the list. So like I said, I would do BroCode on YouTube, then maybe do W3 Schools, and then CodingBat, you don't really have to do these leak code pages, but I just have them there. Like I said, I want to just go through them just to see if there's anything there that I don't really know already. And then after you do all that, then I would start practicing on HackerRank. Those problems will get you ready for interviews. And as soon as you can, I would start working on projects also. I haven't really started working on projects yet because I'm trying to focus on like really getting the fundamentals down so that way I can pass interviews, because I've been applying for jobs and I'm kind of nervous about it. So I want to make sure I kind of know what I'm doing when it comes to solving problems that might be on my interview. So right now I'm doing Logic 2 on coding bat. I'm almost done with it. I have 3 more problems left. All right, given two integer values greater than 0, return whichever value is nearest to 21 without going over. Return 0 if they both go over. All right, so we know that both of the integers we're getting in this problem are going to be greater than 0. We're going to return whichever value is nearest to 21 without going over. So it has to be less than 21. Return 0 if they both go over. Yeah. If A is greater than 21 and B is greater than 21, return 0. Now the way I'm doing it, it might not necessarily be the best way to do it, but I'm just trying to make sure that I can at least solve these problems. So I did this one first because if they both go over 21, and then we're just going to return 0, so there's no sense in testing anything else with either of them. Okay, so now that we know that not both of them go over, so we're gonna do if if A is less than or equal to 21 and B is less than or equal to 21, I mean, this is assuming that they're not. Okay, so if A equals B, then return A. Else if A is greater than B, return A. Else return B. If, let me see here. If A is greater than or equal to 21 return A. Else. Now we're not gonna do else, we're gonna do return B. Nice, that got it all. Now the way I did it might not be the best way to do it, but it worked. So to explain this to you, first I check to see if both of them are bigger than 21, then we're just returning 0. So that's what this does. If A is bigger than 21 and B is bigger than 21, we're returning 0. And then we're checking to see if they're both less than or equal to 21. If A equals B, then we're gonna just return A. Like, it doesn't matter which one we return. We can return A, we can return B. I don't even know if that's any of the test cases here. They don't have anything that is for both of them, but that was just an extra test case that I thought of. Else, then if A is bigger than B, we're returning A. Else, return B. Because if A is not bigger than B, then we know we're not returning A. So then we're going down to else and we're going to return B. And then down here, so this one is if both of them are less than or equal to 21. So if only one of them is, then we're going to check to see if it's A, because we know only one of them is going to be less than or equal to 21. If it's A that's less than or equal to 21, then we're going to return A. If it's not, then we're going to just go down here and we're going to return B. But I wonder if AI has a better solution for that. I always like to check and see if there's a better way to do it. Do this in Java. If A is bigger than 21 and B is bigger than 21, return 0. So yeah, that's the same thing I did first. And then they're saying if A is bigger than 21, return B. If B is bigger than 21, return A. Return math max. Oh, see, that's the thing. I always forget that that's like a way to do that. So math max, this returns whatever is greater between A or B. So that's another way to do it. I like to keep notes of little things like that I want to remember. So I just make like a little Word document. Logic 2. I'm gonna copy the problem. And I'm gonna copy ChatGPT solution. Put it there. And I'm gonna make like a little note. Remind me. Math max. That's the key that I want to try to remember. So that's why I wrote that there. Math max. All right, cool. So I got 2 more left in this section. By the way, thanks for subscribing to me, whoever did that. Really appreciate that. All right. Given 3 ints A, B, C, one of them is small, one is medium, one is large. Return true if the 3 values are evenly spaced. So the difference between small and medium is the same as the difference between medium and large. So return return math abs b minus a equals math abs b minus c. Maybe I misunderstood this. Return true if the three values are evenly spaced. So the difference between the small and medium is the same difference between medium and large. That doesn't make sense because why is this one showing true? Because the difference between the small and the medium is 2. And the difference, oh, never mind. I'm thinking of this wrong. All right. Int big num equals math max a b c. I think that's how you do it. Int small num equals math min a b c. Now how do we figure out what the medium number is? I guess we do medium med num equals a plus b plus c minus big num minus small num. Return, okay, so we're gonna do med num minus small num, med num minus big num. What? So I wonder how you do that then. Let me see here. It only accepts 2 arguments. Okay, so int big num 1 equals math max a b. So that's going to give us the biggest between A and B. Int. Let's see here. Big num1. And then for this one, we're going to do small num1 equals math min AB small num1. Hopefully that works now. There we go. So to explain that, separate this out a little bit. All right, so first we're going to try to see what the big number is. So to do that, we're going to see what's the bigger number between A and B. That's going to be put into big num1. Now for the regular big num, we're going to check to see what's bigger, big num1 or C. Whichever is bigger, that's going to be put into big num1. Same thing for small num. So we're going to check to see what's smaller, A or B. If A is smaller, then that's going to be small num1. Then for the real small num, we're going to do math.min, and we're going to check to see what's smaller. If it was A, then we're going to check to see if it's A or C. If it was B in the first one here, then we're going to check between B and C, and then that's going to be put into the small number. That's going to give me the official small number. And then to get the medium number, we're adding up all the numbers A, B, C, and then we're going to just subtract the big number and the small number to leave the medium number left over. And then we're returning down here to see if the difference between the medium number and the small number is the same, equals the difference between the medium number and the big number. And all my test cases are correct there. So now I'm on my last one of logic 2. I'm pretty pumped about that. Thinking about doing the map section after this. Let me see, because I wrote down the order I want to do everything in on my phone. I have a little notes app that I write that in, so I can check mark logic 2 I'm done with. Yeah, it looks like I do want to do map 1 and 2 because I don't really know maps. I need to learn that again. Well, let me see here. Do I really want to do maps? Well, I might actually do the LeetCode arrays and strings section first just to get that over with, because I'm kind of getting burnt out with CodingBat. Kind of want like a change of pace. I'm going to do arrays and strings on LeetCode after this, and then I'm going to do CodingBat map 1 and 2. Then I'm going to do W3 schools, and then I'm going to do HackerRank. I think that sounds like a plan. Another good website is Code Wars. I want to do that soon. And Exorcism. I don't know when do I want to do these? Probably want to do those after HackerRank's 30 days of code. Make sure. Yeah. I have a long way to go. I think maybe once I do HackerRank's 30 days of code, that's probably when I'm going to start doing my projects. All right, let's bang this last one out and get it over with. All right, we want make a package of gold kilos of chocolate. We have small bars 1 kilo each, and big bars 5 kilos each. Return the number of small bars to use. Assuming we always use big bars before small bars. Return -1 if can't be done. Damn, dude, I did a problem like this the other night. Let's see if I can get a clue from my notes. Oh. This one's confusing to me. Int max big. So I had a hard time with this one, so I'm gonna look at my notes for this. Max big equals math min big goal divided by 5. It's 5 kilos. Int remainder equals goal minus max big times 5. If return the number of small bars to use. If remainder is less than or equal to small, return remainder. Return -1. Let's see if that worked. There we go. Okay, so to explain that one, we're figuring out what's the maximum number of the big bars that can go into the package to reach the goal. So we're gonna figure out the math min between the number of big bars. So the number of big bars is given here. Putting that there, and then we're gonna do the goal, which is the number of kilos, divided by 5, because there's 5 kilos in each big bar. So whatever the minimum is between those two, basically. So because let me see here. Yeah, because even if more big bars can go into it to reach your goal, you might not have that amount of big bars. So in that case, we're gonna just use the full amount of big bars that we have. But if you can only do less than the full amount of big bars to go into it to reach your goal, then we're gonna go with this one, which is gonna be the goal divided by 5. It's gonna give you however many big bars can go into it. Then we're gonna get the remainder, which is the amount left over to reach your goal. So you would need small bars to reach your goal. So we're gonna do the goal minus whatever we just got, the max big times 5, and we're doing times 5 because that's 5 kilos. So the max big gives you however many bars, big bars, can go into it. And we're timesing that by 5 kilos because the goal is in kilos. And this is going to give you the remainder, which is the amount of small bars that you can use to reach the goal. And then if the remainder is less than or equal to the amount of small bars that you have, then we're going to return the remainder, because that means that the remainder is able to be filled up using the amount of small bars that we have. And if it's not able to be, let me see here. Well, if the remainder is greater than the amount of small bars that we have, then we're going to go down here and we're going to return the -1, because that's what it says up here if it can't be done. Assuming we always use big bars before small bars, yeah. But I wonder, I guess they wouldn't give you a goal that's less than 5 kilos. That would be the only edge case where I don't think this would work. All right, well, I'm officially done with Logic 2. Pretty pumped about that. So I'm gonna go back to CodingBat for map 1 and 2, probably after LeetCode arrays and strings. Or do you guys want me to continue doing CodingBat and I'll do the maps section maybe? But just keep in mind, I don't really know how to use maps. So I'm gonna have to learn as I go. All right, screw it. I'm gonna just do it. All right, basic map, get, put, no loops. These can be solved with just get, put, contains key, no loops required. All right, like I said, I don't know how to do maps, so I'm gonna have to use ChatGPT or something to figure this out. Modify and return the given map as follows. If the key A has a value, set the key B to have that value, and set the key A to have the value, to basically have an empty value. So you're moving the value of A to B and you're not replacing the value of A. Basically, B is a bully taking the value and replacing it with an empty string. All right, I think once I learn how to do this first problem, I should be able to do the rest of them probably, hopefully. Okay, if map contains key A, map dot put B, map dot get A. Map dot put A empty string. I don't know if I'm gonna remember how to do that. If map contains key A, if map, is it dot contains key? Yeah. Dot contains key A, then what? Is it map dot put B, map dot get A, something like that? Map dot put B, map dot get A. So you have to put them in quotation marks. And then map dot put A, or you just put an empty string there. Return map forgot to put that parentheses there and here. If, what am I doing wrong? If map dot contain, K has to be capital. If map dot contains key A, map dot put B, map dot get A. Map dot put A, empty string, return map. Okay. Modify and return the given map as follows. If the key A has a value, set the key B to have that same value. In all cases, remove the key C, leaving the rest of the map unchanged. Okay. So I'm gonna just do map dot, is it delete? Get explained it here. Map dot get put contains key. How do you delete a key? Remove. Map dot remove. Map dot remove C. If map dot contains key A, set the key B to have that same value. Map dot put B, map dot get A. Return map. Nice. All right, starting to get the hang of it. Modify and return the given map as follows. For this problem, the map may or may not contain the A and B keys. If both keys are present, append their two string values together and store the result under the key AB. If map dot contains key A and map dot contains key B, map dot put AB map dot get A. I don't know if you can append it like this, but we'll find out. Map dot get B, return map. Nice. So I guess you can't append it that way. All right. Given a map of food keys and topping, I should probably change the title of this video because I have it set as logic, but whatever. There's still logic in here. Given a map of food keys and topping values, modify and return the map as follows. If the key ice cream is present, set its value to cherry. In all cases, set the key bread to have the value butter. But what if there is no key bread? If map dot bread map dot get, I guess we would just put it map dot put bread butter if map dot contains key ice cream map dot put ice cream cherry. Return map. All right, we're starting to get the hang of it. I'm rolling through this one. I'm gonna just tackle this whole section tonight, honestly. Let me see. Given a map of food keys and their topping values, modify and return the map as follows. If the key ice cream has a value, set that as the value for the key yogurt also. If the key spinach has a value, change that value to nuts. Map dot contains key ice cream map dot put ice cream, set that if the key ice cream has a value, set that as the value for the key yogurt also. Yogurt map dot get ice cream if map dot contains key spinach map dot put spinach map spinach nut return map. Given a map of food keys and topping values, modify and return the map as follows. If the key potato has a value, set that value as the value for the key fries. If the key salad has a value, set that value for the key spinach. If map dot contains key potato, map dot put fries map dot get potato if map dot contains key salad map dot put spinach map dot get salad. Return map. All right, BRB, I gotta go to the bathroom. if map dot contains key A and map dot contains key B, if map dot get A equals map dot get B, map dot remove A, map dot remove B, return map. What the heck? um modify and return the given map as follows. If exactly one of the keys A or B has a value in the map but not both, set the other to have that same value in the map. Modify and return the given map as follows. If exactly one of the keys A or B has a value in the map, but not both, set the other value to have that same value in the map. If map dot contains key A and I don't know if you would do this. Key B map dot put B map dot get A turn if map dot contains key B and map dot contain key A map dot put A map dot get B. The keys A and B have values that have different lengths. Then set C to have the longer value. If the values exist and have the same length, change them both to the empty string in the map. Let's see. App.get a. I did it.